Dulu, kami fikir orang Melayu tak boleh jadi askar yang baik. Tapi sekarang,
Batu, tembak dia depan!
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Akidah binti Kasrin, number matric 2210677. This is a movie about Lieutenant Adnan, a Malaysian soldier who died defending Malaya against the Japanese invasion during World War II. Lieutenant Adnan was a brave man who was prepared to risk everything including his life for the sake of the people and the country. He thought that as a patriotic citizen he had no choice but to fight until the last drop of blood was shed to save the country. He died on 14 February 1942 in the battlefield while against the Japanese army at Bukit Chandu, Singapore.
Salam sejahtera ma'am, my name is Calvin Yokanjun, number matric 2210640. Now I will continue to talk about the analysis tool for the movie of Lieutenant Adnan. So we have chosen two analysis tools, which are the 5 why analysis tool and the SWOT analysis tool. So first of all, there are 5 why will be discussed here. First is why did Lieutenant Adnan lose in the Malaya War in World War II? So it is happened because Malaya soldiers not have enough facility such as pistol and soldier when it's defend at Bukit Chandu. Second is why are not having enough facility during the war. So it is because the Japan soldiers are attacking suddenly and it causes the British not to have enough time to prepare the war. So the third is why were the Japan soldiers attacking suddenly Malaya? So the reason is because the Thailand opened the way for the Japans to enter Malaya and the soldier in Malaya was mostly unprepared for the war. The next why is why did Thailand open the way for the Japan and the soldier in Malaya were unprepared? So it's because the British do not have a good management and do not care about Malaya at that time. So the lastly is why the British does not have good management and not care about the Malaya. It happens because the British colonized Malaya to take raw material and its benefits such as tin, palm oil and many more that benefit to them.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Zuhairi bin Abdul Kadir and my matrix number is 2210665 and I want to state an analysis about the solution that used by Lieutenant Adnan to the main problem in this movie. First is giving words of encouragement to his men to keep fighting. What made it difficult for the Japanese to defeat Lieutenant Adnan was courage and determination. In the story, shows Lieutenant Adnan knew he lacked assets and troops, and there were even his men who suggested to retreat, but Lieutenant Adnan still told his men to fight, and despite being killed here. The second solution is build a good position to defend the attack. Lieutenant Adnan has used the environment as an aid to withstand the Japanese attack. In the story, Lieutenant Adnan has placed his men in the hilly area where the attack took place at the Bukit Chandu. This position makes it easier for Lieutenant Adnan to see the enemy movement and makes it easier for Lieutenant Adnan to retreat if he is unable to survive by building a gap as a route to move as a defensive fort. The last strategy is lead with enemy strategy. Lieutenant Adnan took a defensive step by not believing completely what was coming in front of them. In this story, a group of 6 soldiers approached their base, but Lieutenant Adnan did not allow his men to greet the group and told his men to get ready. After a while, Lieutenant Adnan ordered his men to shoot because it was a Japanese army in disguise. Because Lieutenant Adnan knew the formation they used to move was different from the Sikh army, and weapons they used did not belong to the British.
The next analysis is SWOT analysis. For the strength in this movie are the brave, which is company C of Malaya soldier, and Lieutenant Adnan bravely fought against the Japanese army to the last drop of blood, even in the small numbers, and ran out of ammunition. Second strength is wise. For example, Lieutenant Adnan cleverly detected the trick of the Japan soldier disguised as India soldier wearing turbans when attacking Malaya soldier in Pasir Panjang. Lastly, the strength of this movie is loving such as Lieutenant Adnan was very fond on his wife and felt sad when he once left her in the Rama River before he left to Singapore to fight to stop the Japan's advance. On the other hand, the next SWOT analysis is weakness. From this video, I found weakness which is stubborn. For example, Lieutenant Adnan was stubborn and refused to retrench even though there were no bullets when attacking the Japan in the Pasir Panjang. If he retrenched, there is definitely a chance to fight back, but he loved his land to the last drop of blood.
The next analysis is opportunity, where Lieutenant Adnan and his troop has a strategic defensive position. Lieutenant Adnan has his Company C troops has used the highlands as defensive fortifications by creating a gap and placing sandbags. This caused the Japanese to fail to penetrate the defenses of Lieutenant Adnan forces, even though their numbers were more than the numbers of the Company C. The last analysis is threat, where the main threat was the number and equipment of Japanese soldiers who were more tactical than Lieutenant Adnan forces. The battle at Bukit Chandu saw Company C under Lieutenant Adnan being utterly opposed by the Japanese to end the strength of Lieutenant Adnan forces. Company C was difficult to defend due to lack of ammunition and no help from the British. Japanese army also used mortars and cannons to defeat Adnan forces. The second threat was the fall of strategic location in the hands of the Japanese. Lieutenant Adnan had to prevent the Japanese from conquering Permatang. This is because if Lieutenant Adnan fails, it will make it easier for Malaya to fall into the hands of the Japanese. This is because it is easier for the Japanese to go to Alexandra, which is the site of the main ammunition and supply depot, as well as other British facilities, such as military hospital.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning, ma'am. My name is Muhammad Syafimi bin Muhammad Yazid, and my matrix number is 2210703. And today I'm going to present about Lieutenant Adnan leadership strategies that used in executing the mission. There are three leadership strategies that we get from this Lieutenant Adnan movie, which is the first is wisdom in dealing with the critical situation. Lieutenant Adnan intelligent reading trick Japan, although the Japanese army disguised as a soldier that wearing a turban when Indian tried to attack French soldiers. Second, patriotism. Lieutenant Adnan, who works as a teacher, is willing to leave his career and to enter the military in order to fight and defend the homeland. And last is bravery. Lieutenant Adnan led a platoon of men to bravely defend the British stronghold of Pasir Panjang Ridge against the Japanese onslaught. Although his battalion was undersupplied and outnumbered, Lieutenant Adnan's courage and leadership inspired his soldiers and continued fighting with all their might.
عن إياض بن حمار المجاشعي أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال ذات يوم في خطبته: وأهل الجنة ثلاثة ذو سلطان مقسط متصدق موفق ورجل رحيم رفيق القلب لكل ذي قربى ومسلم وعفيف متعفف ذو عيال. Meaning, from Iyad bin Himar al-Mujashi radiyallahu anhu, indeed Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam one day delivered a sermon and he said, and verily the members of heaven are of three kinds, namely fair as well as cheap leadership are given guidance, and man who loving, who has a tender heart for his family members and all Muslims, and man who maintains self-respect in addition to supporting his family. Sahih Muslim number 2865. In this hadith, Rasulullah SAW explained to us that there are 3 classes of members of heaven. Interestingly here, this hadith is also give the features that are the main picture of them who are regarded as members of heaven. For leaders, a key feature explained in this hadith is they are fair, muqsid, easy to give, mutasaddiq, and get guidance, muwafaq. From this movie, we can see the figure of Lieutenant Adnan, who is an exemplary leader that has characteristic, a state which is a fair leader and easy to give.
In conclusion, Lieutenant Adnan's story teaches us a lot of positive behavior that we can apply in our daily life. When it comes to the war at Bukit Chandu, Adnan leadership makes it easier for all teams, with Adnan providing a lot of strategy on how to win the war. There are many lessons we can learn from this story, one of which is that we all must have a patriotic spirit, like Lieutenant Adnan. Then, we must have a strong sense of patriotism. For example, the struggle of Lieutenant Adnan and the Malay soldiers demonstrated that they have such a strong sense of patriotism and willing to sacrifice their time, energy, and their life. As a leader in charge, Lieutenant Adnan joined his team members in gotong royong to finish the defensive fortifications in preparations for the enemy. I'm sure if all this leadership can be applied by everyone, the country will undoubtedly produce a great citizens who will make the rest of the world proud of us. Thank you.
Ingat, bangsa Melayu, bangsa bebas dan berdaulat. Dan bangsa Melayu juga yang mencipta pepatah. Biar putih tulang, jangan putih mata. Hidupkan Melayu! Hidup!